Right. One, two, three. We're here with Irina, owner of Facets Fine Jewelry. Myself, Michael, and Ian are hosting the podcast. What's up, Irina? How are you?
Hi
What's
guys,
going
good.
on?
How are you?
I'm good too. I'm better now. I'm with you. Always with
Thank
that
you for
beautiful
joining us.
smile. Ian, I'm so happy you're meeting Irina. I think I like FaceTime you briefly in her store when I was
Yes, I
there.
remember.
You remember?
Yeah, you have the whole team. You guys are shooting, creating some content, some
Yep.
media. It's great to, be able to show like on and off the ground what's really happening, like
So nice
you
to
got
meet
friends
you.
and
Yeah,
do
Irina is so sweet. Look how beautiful her store is. You can see a little bit of it. It's gorgeous, absolutely beautiful in Brooklyn. But Irina, I'm so happy you came on. I would love for you to share your story. It's such an inspiring story. We were just touching on before we even started the episode or whatever. The Instagram is so beautiful. The products, the content, you carry the nicest stuff. You have a really good sense of style. I know you do. But I'd love to hear the story. Like, who is Irina and what is Facets Fine Jewelry? Like, how'd this come about and what are you focused on really selling? Is it watches, jewelry? Is it both? I'd love to hear the story.
Well, so Irina is just a young girl that always had a creative mind. As a child, for fun, I would sit in my computer and play with Photoshop and design. How normal girls are usually playing with dolls and
Yeah.
bikes and whatnot. That wasn't me. I'd be the girl sitting at home, learning by myself what Photoshop does. I was always into the business aspect of what I do now. I actually was never into jewelry personally. So when I started working with Facets, it was in 2008. I met my then husband, and his family jewelry store sort of lured me in and into loving what jewelry actually is. I started out in sales. I started out with fashion, and within the years, I learned that I actually have a calling in designing jewelry. That became my passion.
That's awesome. I love it. I love the back end. I didn't know that when you were young, like you were naturally like kind of passionate on like design, architectural, like, right? That type of aspect was going on. And
Yeah.
you're like very entrepreneurial too. Like you have you're not like bossy to where it's like a turn off, but you're very like, you're diligent with getting things done. No, I'm being really transparent, which is dope. So you really you learned how to be a good boss. Yeah. In a sense, like an entrepreneur.
I started working at 15 and I started in a really high-end clothing shop in Forest Hills, Queens, I don't know, in Austin Street. It was called Austin Jeans. All the celebrities would go there. And to work there, you had to be the shit.
Where is this though? Where is this? Where were you growing up? Where were you like raised around this?
I grew up all over the place. I was born in Russia, raised in Israel, and then I moved to the United States. I was almost 10 years old, and we lived in Queens, in Forest Hills, Queens.
Okay, yes,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're using
Okay.
a steamer here. Can I ask them not to use it?
No, no, leave it. That's fine. You're in the real. We like the raw, authentic. Your steam cleaning next to your diamond. I love it.
That's the authenticity, that
yeah, I love it. So tell me. So now you're in Queens, and you have this. We already touched on like architectural kind of upbringing. That you found these interests, but of course you're young. You didn't connect it with really a passion yet, or something like that could be monetized to a sense, right? So then you're getting a bit older, you're in Queens, you're 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or so, and you worked 15. At a very high, 15, yeah. And you worked at a high-end clothing store, you said, right?
Yeah. So my first job I got was there. I wasn't even looking for the job. I came to say hello to my girlfriend, my best friend, and when I walked in, the owner took a liking in me, and so she told my friend to call me back. I was shocked, obviously, but when I came back, I had no idea how much I enjoyed interacting with others, how much I enjoyed being able to offer a service to a client. And on top of that, being the best at it. That was what gave me the drive, being able to say, oh, I can do better than you, and it's
Yeah,
say, but that was what gave me my push.
the drive, that competitive edge to it, and you have that sense of style. So you felt you could add something to it or make it more detailed and whatnot.
Mind you, I was a kid. I didn't know what I was doing, but within a few months, they took me on to be their manager, and I was now their lead salesperson.
Wow.
By I think maybe 18 years old, I was working in high-end boutiques in Manhattan. I worked in Diesel on Fifth Avenue at their flagship store. They hired me as their manager. And so that's really where I started.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Then I met my husband in 2008, and he had their family jewelry shop. It was just a few doors down from where we are now. It was a 500 square foot, cute little, I want to say like it had like an antique-ish vibe compared to what we are now. And we were selling more, they were selling more, more gold-filled designer. Like,
was it like coins and yadros? Like
no. It was still very beautiful. It was still very unique for the for a jewelry store. It was not something you would see everywhere else, but it was a very cutesy, like high end, but not as high end, like a cutesy mom and pop shop. And they were carrying very independent, unique designers from all over the world.
Yeah.
And they were collecting antiques, not as much as we ended up doing, but my husband's mom was doing antiques at the time. And slowly but surely in 2008, I met my husband, and we transitioned the business into something completely different. We started carrying engagement rings and wedding rings. And that was something that he felt very adamant about. Because there was a shop nearby that was very well known. It was called the Clay Pot. They have since closed down. And so we sort of decided, we're going to do wedding rings and engagement rings. And that's how we took on a different clientele.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You're
starting to change the concept around this time.
Yeah.
What was that?
That's a big industry, the weddings.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was just a kid. When I started, but I understood selling and I understood management. And so we rolled with that.
Yeah. So then after introducing like rings and whatnot, so what happens from here on? I want to know like how you got to here, because I know.
So we roll with that. We lived right here in Park Slope, and then we had our first baby.
Yeah.
After having our first baby, we decided, we're going to work just as hard, but we're going to take one day off. It's going to be our very holy day, the Sabbath.
Okay.
And our customers are going to come to us. And I think that sort of helped us create an even more desirable like boutique, because you couldn't get to us all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that was one thing. Then I think after we had our second baby. And as I was pregnant with our third baby, my husband decided there's a store opening 2 doors over. It's huge. We wanted this 10 years ago. We could not get it 10 years ago. This is our time. We can do this. And so we went to the landlord, and he was like, no problem. We signed the lease within 5 minutes. And that was our next venture. That was, to say, we're going to do this. I was 7 months pregnant. It was very difficult. I was really nervous, but it was now something that we were taking upon ourselves. And through that transition is really where I decided, okay, so if we're going to do something really beautiful and special, why are we carrying different artists? Why don't we start making our own? And so that's how I started doing Facets, the Facets line, and everything is now has Facets logo on the inside of whatever piece we create. And 90% of what's showcased behind me is made in-house. It's designed in-house and sold here. So it has a very personal, touch. And I think
it's so unique. Like when I walked in, I feel like and I know jewelry very well. My father's a jeweler, as you know, and I've been in and around it, torsos and bases. when I walked into your store, the pieces are so unique. You know, it's like stuff you really don't see anywhere really else.
Thank
And that
you.
makes sense because you're making it there, you know, but it's amazing. Yeah, it's really an experience, you know, not even to just come and buy, but when you walk in and look through each of these cubes and you just float around a bit, you know, right? The energy and just what you're viewing, it's art in a sense. Like you're not a jeweler, you're a designer, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's really what it is too. So I love that you make your own. Like that's major, right, Ian? That's something I would say to you. I'd be like, yo, I love all these different names and all these different brands, but this is our store. We're here every day. We got to make our own jewelry, right? Represent us. So that's amazing. That's amazing.
Awesome.
And so through the pandemic, the
Mhm.
toughest time I think that this country has gone through in a very long time, we decided, okay, the watch market is going nuts. We got to we've always done watches, but not in the same way. We've never actually displayed them in the shop. It wasn't, if you look back on our Instagram, like it wasn't something that we talked about every day. But when the pandemic hit, that was now our next mission. So we dabbled into the watch market, into the luxury watch market. We're
Yeah.
doing great with that. So on and so forth. Only God knows where we go from here.
Yeah, and then as far as the watches, because you really did do like amazing. You got like really beautiful pieces. You went into Patek Philippe, right? Audemars. You have several different like models of those, like Nautilus. I know certain Nautilus models and Royal Oaks, even these skeletons. And they
That's
went crazy. Like they're like 50, 100K above retail, right? It's like insane what's going on. Can you touch on what's going on with that a little bit? As I know you have like several Pateks and the nicest ones. You
Yes.
invested
So
into
the
them.
market went insane.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get a watch that once you could get for 18,000, you were now going to pay 80,000 for.
Insane.
And it wasn't even feasible. You couldn't even find it. So that was what happened. Now with the whole Russia and Ukraine war situation, the market has gone down a bit with the watches on certain models. The ones that are more desirable, the ones that are more unique are still staying up there, but everything is coming down slowly.
I feel like you can't lose with the watches. I had a buddy of mine, he's like, I've invested into like crypto and this and stocks, and I lost money everywhere, but on my watches, they've gone up. They've quadrupled, tripled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
I think,
know, yeah, if you watch the statistics of Rolex, you'll
Yeah.
see that over the years, not a single model has gone down in value.
yeah. No, I think in the Christie's auction thing, Rolex has the record, no? Or Patek, one of them.
Yeah, they're both up there, Patek, Rolex, but different realms. Rolex is very much more mass manufactured. Patek is, you know, very.
But, you know, interestingly enough, Michael, Rolex is leading.
No, always. They will. They will. They're the number one, you know, they're the number one, but not in terms of quality. Like you open the back of a Rolex, it doesn't stand next to the back of a, you know, when you
Oh,
open
absolutely.
the back, oh yeah, of a Patek or a Panerai or Ulysse Nardin, Blachute, some of these watches, they're like 2,000 pieces, handcrafted, put together, you know? Yeah, Rolex is, I love Rolex, but you know, when you open the back of
They
it,
have some really beautiful models. Don't sleep on Rolex.
oh no, I'm not. I think it's
Some very unique.
no, I think it's incredible. Do you have that one Rolex that's like $1 million? Do you have it on? Because I know you had it on.
I don't have it on. I'm
Rolex.
actually
Oh,
wearing
forget
my
it.
Patek right now, my 7118, the
Beautiful,
rose
beautiful.
gold. Yeah, I love it.
love
It's
that.
pretty sleek.
Classy.
just
What was that
everything.
Rolex model that you had on?
That's the Rainbow Daytona.
That's the Rainbow Daytona, the iconic. Amazing. So yeah, real just moving forward. I appreciate you sharing that story. It's awesome. I want to ask you, what would you say to a younger girl out there, an Irina out there that may see this, that loves jewelry design? They're like, oh wait, when I was 7, 8, I loved to draw designing too, and didn't like the other stuff. What would you say to her that like is inspiring to get to where you are today? What kind of path or like, what would
I
you
would
say were
say
components?
do what you love, always. You know, I know that it's difficult growing up because your parents always have a certain expectation of you. But I was always the kid who followed my heart. And therefore, I am now I don't feel like I work. I'm enjoying every single second of what I do. I love every aspect of what my work is.
Yeah.
So I would say to a young me, I would say keep it up. Don't listen to anyone.
Yeah.
Just do you.
Love
If
that.
you want to sit in your room and lock the door and listen to music and draw on the floor, which is what I would do. I would just lay on the floor like I don't know what and just sketch all day long, then do it. I used to get yelled at for listening to music all day.
Yeah.
That's what kept me going. So to a young girl like me, I'd say just do you.
Yeah.
I will
I,
say,
I want to say, yeah, what are you gonna say, Ian?
pick a job that you love and you never work a day in your life, So it's like,
Yeah.
you're passionate about it. It shows.
Yeah. Irina, I love you. And I just want to say it again because I just know how authentic that is. Like you are raw with that. Like you're so like you just love what you're doing. You're floating around like, yeah, call me. I'll do this, call me. Ian, kind of like how this happened. She's just doing her and she's loving what she's doing. She's not like working, you know what I mean? It's pretty cool. And it's so
Nothing is
so
planned.
real.
I didn't plan
Yeah.
a single thing. I did not know what was going to happen in 2008 or 2019 or at any point in my life.
Yeah. No, I love it. You do you and just float. You just be floating, like doing your thing. It's amazing. I wanted to ask you, and you kind of responded with it was difficult, like with people telling me what to do. I was going to ask that question too. Like, what were some of the difficulties you would say? I know you have stuff to do, and we're going to get back to
no,
it too. Yeah, I'm with you. But what would you say with some of the difficulties, like through your path to get to where you are now, that you maybe, you would want to like shed a little light on, just in case it like stops somebody from maybe getting to that
For
destination?
me, it was a lot of cultural stuff. I'm a Russian Jew, and we come from a very small part of the world. And for us, it was very difficult to accept a girl who had an artistic eye, who had, a musical side to her. Like it was really hard because I was on stage singing my whole life, and that was really hard for my mom to accept at times. My dad was always pushing me, but my mom really just wanted that girl to be tame, to be like, girl, get married. They wanted me to get married at 18. So those were my difficulties, and I'm just really glad that whatever the force it was that pushed me to continue on my path that I did, because thank God now I have 3 beautiful, healthy children, and I'm happy and I'm doing well.
Yeah, you have an amazing business and you're beautiful, So let me ask you real quick, the last thought, like what would you say is like your morning routine? Because you've been driven to keep this going on. Now I have to ask you, I love asking everyone this
You
because
want to hear my morning routine.
well, you have 3 kids. What would you say were parts of it? I know you're busy, but parts of that morning routine that keep you on this path? Because there's something there, I feel,
Well, I mean, I'm always curious to know what we can do more for the Instagram account or for the business. So in the morning, I'm always checking everything. Before I get out of bed, it's like the first thing I do. I grab my phone and I'm on my Instagram and I'm on every single account, and you too.
Yeah.
And I'm
It's
just
hard to put the phone
that's I guess that's what keeps me on top of things.
It's so
Check
interesting.
the emails.
Yeah. So you get up, you're checking your emails, your phone. Do you work out in the morning, or you just go right to work? Because I know you stay like active. You're so active all day long, right? So you probably don't even need to like run in the morning.
I don't work out.
Yeah, but you're on your feet, running and moving all the time. I feel like you get the 10,000 steps in and all that shit.
I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, it's all good. If I'm not working out, it's fine. If I'm not getting those, I'm not that healthy. But I do try. For me, my main goal every morning after I check my phone is my kids. So feeding them, dressing them, getting them to school. Today we took them to camp, and then I head over here to Brooklyn from New Jersey. And that alone is an hour and a half of a commute each way. But that's really it. And I come in here and I do my little walk around. I do a quick swoop around the shop and I check to see, do I like where everything is placed? Do I have any suggestions? I check that everything is clean and priced well. And then I just watch over to make sure everybody's speaking properly with the
Yeah.
clients, that everyone's getting back to everybody that they need to. And that's my job.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. And you just follow your heart, like you're saying, and that's fulfilling for you, going in there, checking your space, making sure it's organized, everything's clean, right? And then you
Yeah.
get that service, that direct one-to-one. You provide that service. You love it. And
Yeah.
you love jewelry. You love the design. You manufacture there. Inside your store, it's quite unique. Because I know I saw that machine, and not a lot of stores have that.
A
Like, you're
laser
able to
welder.
fully, yeah, right. You're able to fully do work, not like say, hey, I have to send it out for 3 weeks. They could have a cup of
No.
coffee and
Everything
kind
is done in-house. We have 2 full-time bench jewelers with 30 plus years of experience. We have state-of-the-art machines that you don't usually use in jewelry. But for us, that's what keeps us moving faster, more precise. We usually ask for a lead of 8 weeks for anything custom made. But we have the 2 floors, so we use the downstairs facility and the upstairs facility, but everything is done in-house.
Okay, awesome. I love it.
I want to
Eugene, I
touch.
wish we went there. You'd get it on the Billionaires Club, but
I
we'll
know, I
share some
saw
stuff.
you. Like,
But yeah, I
on the
wanted you to
FaceTime,
go
right?
in there. Next time you come to New York, stop by her space.
Where do you live? Yeah.
I'm in Miami.
Oh,
Yeah, I was just up
favorite
there
place.
in Long Island for the weekend with Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Michael, you're gonna have a baby soon.
Yeah,
Good for the trip.
soon.
Yeah.
I'm like 2 months away. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, when you're in Miami too, Irina, you guys should link up. I know you're always in and around all these hotels. Irina goes to the Florida all the time, and
I'm from Brooklyn.
I want you to build with Facets Fine Jewelry. It's directly aligned with the audience, and she's a
Everything I like to do long term, so it's fantastic.
yeah.
I appreciate this
100%.
opportunity, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and we love you. So keep doing your thing, all right?
I love you guys. I look up to you guys.
We look
I
up
don't
to
know.
you.
It's mutual, vice versa.
Keep
Thank
doing
you.
your thing. Enjoy your day. I know you got people around you, steam cleaning.
I know.
I
We have a lot going on over here.
hear you. All love, all right?
Okay,
Nice
thank
seeing
you. Nice to meet you.
Enjoy.
Likewise.
Take care. Thank you, Irina. Take care.
Thank you for watching this episode. We upload a new episode every Friday at 5 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. We as well greatly appreciate those that have subscribed to the channel. We appreciate the love and the support. Lastly, if you've missed last week's episode, tune into the episode right here.